You should know better. You really should know better, Eddie. Right? What's going on? Surfing the Apocalypse, episode 20, coming to you live from Washington, D.C., the belly of the beast in District 13, Taiwan, the real District 13. I am NPC the Game, aka Blaxican, and I have the real Morpheus, my co-pilot in this journey, these end times, allegedly. What's going on Code?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. Good, bro. Oh man, I don't know about you, but I love that soundtrack. That soundtrack of Superfly, classic, huh? Superfly. And today's episode is fake woke fairy tale realities, and that came to mind in us talking about because the reason we came in contact was I was like geeking over your Young Pharaoh video, right? The AKA Prince of Consciousness back in the day, right? And that video was crazy, seeing him getting into all the new age yoga shit and drugged out MK Ultra, you know, and it gets me to thinking now, coming full circle, this whole thing we hear about, as we were speaking earlier about how politics is at the forefront for a lot of quote unquote conscious channels, right? Like politics. And now the term woke, which was the first time I heard it, was in the Black consciousness community, right? Like 2013, around that time. And I after listening to Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemmett videos, they've been saying it since the 90s, I think. But now it seems as though the quote unquote neoliberal pussies kind of, excuse my language, have kind of co-opted that word, right? To mean something else.
Yeah. We used to say it trying to wake our people up. Even before the Matrix, we was trying to stop the violence. And a lot of the brothers, 5% is here, and people trying to regular Muslim in jail kind of was trying to wake up from the quote unquote ghetto ratchet violent shit we was on. We was already on a wake up mission. So then when the Matrix came out, you feel what I'm saying? Remember, what's the kid, Childish Gambino had the song Stay Woke. So
right.
it was already black jargon. You know what I mean? So, and I was saying, like, even with the Matrix, it was the black guy that gave Neo the red pill. It was the black guy that woke him up. You know what I mean?
Right. That was out there in the Nebuchadnezzar for God knows how long. Right. And then if we go even further in the meta narrative, we'll just say Sophia Stewart, a black woman, wrote The Matrix, right? And I heard that, like, she had the idea of having was it her or the Wachowskis that had the idea to have Will Smith play Neo? You heard that one? Yeah. And he ended up kind of doing that same type of archetype of character in I Am Legend, but that movie is dope, but it certainly doesn't have the kind of like the catalytic awakening power like the Matrix did, right? For people, a lot of us, right?
Nah, definitely not. I'm pretty sure he felt like he missed the boat on that one. You know what I mean? There's no way he couldn't feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because that movie, the cool thing about that movie was you take the red pill, you go to, you stay woke, awaken this crazy awareness of what's really going on, or you take the blue pill, you go to sleep, right? Which is simple, right? Red, you're enlightened. Blue, you're stupid, right? Deaf, dumb, and blind. But then I wouldn't even, now that I think about it, I wouldn't even say it was the liberal that kind of co-opted the term woke. It might have even been the alt-right as a diss of the liberal policies of affirmative action, for example, equality in the jobs with the sexist too, and even the LGBT stuff. They were calling people who promote that woke, right?
see, that's the thing. Like the 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 think tanks and the propaganda, government based propaganda machines and shit like that, they are uh old white dudes. They not
Hmm.
young hipsters coming out of college. You know what I mean? Young chicks with blue hair and set of headphones on their head, sitting at the top of the chair board meeting. Like, let's give her pink hair and roller skate. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like
Hmm.
we can't quote unquote blame the man for all these years, and now all of a sudden, without nobody knowing, it's the LGBTs, it's the woke mafia, the woke. No, it's the deep state. It's the and
Right.
we didn't learn our lesson with Obama and George Soros and Black Lives Matter when they switched up and started promoting trans rights and shit like that. So it's like that's kind of a staple at this point in the black community. Like you got to know what's going on for real, and not what the newspaper and the TV and shit saying.
Hmm. Because
So
you're in the front line.
you see what I'm saying? You get
Yeah.
you see Black Black Lives Matter come to your town. Let's say you didn't know what it was though. Like you knew what it was on the surface. Black Lives Matter come to your town, you might be like, oh shit, I want to join the movement. Like they fighting
Right.
for rights and they doing some
Uh-huh.
shit. It's going major. But if
Yeah.
a conspiracy theorist, or you taking the conspiracy theory and the red pill coming from the Matrix has always been sewn in together. Like it's just I'm guilty of that, as you see.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
Matrix code, right? You're reading the code. Yeah.
right. So it's like if you knew what Black Lives Matter was doing behind the scenes, stealing the money, working with George Soros, you feel I'm coming from? You might be like, nah, I'm not fucking with them. But you'd have to be on that question everything tip to really know what's a front and what's a legitimate grassroots movement.
Hmm. Almost so that you have to question it straight off the bat, right? Like, like kind of be leery when you see these quote unquote grassroots things pop up, because Black Lives Matter, if I'm not correct, it did start it with grassroots for the young man, rest in peace, that died in Kansas City, right? I mean,
Well,
that's when it like got big, and those were like people from the community, his community, that started it. And I heard like some woke LGBT like try to take it over, and those guys ended up dead.
mm, I didn't
Yeah,
know that part.
you didn't know that? Yeah, yeah,
See?
yeah. They ended up dead in very, very mysterious, questionable circumstances. Both, like two of the grassroots starters, they ended up dead in a car fires, separate car fires, when they were
I
asking too
might
many
have.
questions about that shit. Like we did a bills on this with Supreme and Ali, the brothers, in 2013, questioning that shit.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, so that's the thing. Like the woke. I think maybe when Donald Glover did that song, I think that's when they was like, all right, let's turn the knob on this one. Let's turn the key on
Hmm.
this. Like we don't need them woke. We don't need them waking up. So
Right.
let's make woke look corny. Let's make woke look rainbow. Let's
Mm.
make
Yeah.
woke look
Yeah.
delusion. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah. Damn.
but you
So
gotta,
organic and also manufactured, huh? They did that, you think?
well, and that's what I've been saying for a while. Like, what's an organic happening, or what's a manufactured happening? That's what I was just about to say. You got to be sharp enough to know that they turning the word woke. It's kind of like those old when people like, well, Uncle Tom. We like, well, if you really knew Uncle Tom, he was saving the slaves. You know what I mean? They turned that into
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
we're woke. Like, well, it started with waking up to you know, the things they were doing in secret. The
Hmm.
toothpaste had fluoride, and the early one
Right.
was the dumb shit, GMO and high
Yeah, the
fructose
water
corn
had
syrup.
fluoride. The water had fluoride, and then the toothpaste had too much fluoride. Yeah.
That was kind of like the early kind of. It always was JFK, the pyramid. We had
Yeah. Cookie. I
our
call it cookie cutter stuff. Yeah.
right. You know what I mean? But it was like once it started getting hip, once it started getting grassroots with crossing color bird, like you know what I mean? We had shit start
Yeah.
coming out. You know what I mean? The Obama deception was
That's a big one.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Zeitgeist that came out, fucked a lot of
Yes.
heads up.
Yeah. Esoteric agenda, a little smaller one, but still hit hard. Esoteric
Hmm.
agenda, and then the second one they made called Climatica. It was these are even more hitting the point and talking about metaphysics into it and the elite and whatnot, so-called elite. How they try to use those against us. And then
And you know one
to
thing? No, I'm
go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro.
Well, I was just gonna say I've been noticing the Iceman, the caveman, been saying the jab. Like they like to call you stupid if you got the jab.
Yeah,
And I'm
they
like,
do.
I remember clearly Trump. It was Trump jab. It wasn't. You don't remember Kamala and them was like, I would never take
Mm.
the jab because it's Trump
No.
jab. Like what?
Oh, yeah, they did say that. They did say, even though they took it like all the other NPC sheep, right? But they did say that, right? They did. They wouldn't take it. But that's the thing. That's why Trump lost a lot of supporters, which he gained back last month with that alleged shooting attempt, right? Assassination, where someone actually lost their lives. Um, he started Operation Warp Speed, where they took all the Conan 19 shots, and like mass produced them without even checking. That was Trump.
Yeah, that's
That
what.
was
So when I
Trump.
hear
Yeah,
these dudes like, I bet you got the jab. I'm like,
yeah,
but it was your guy. It was your
right.
look-alike. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like,
it was your mold. He
so I
was their
mean, let's
mold
just
that you had to be. Yeah.
you know what I mean. Let's just make it cut and dry. Like, who co-opted the word? Who took red pill from being, like we were saying last time, marriage advice, self
Mm-hmm.
improvement advice.
Mm-hmm.
Who had the capability to switch it and turn it and flip it? Who?
Brad.
I mean, let's be. You know what I mean? Like, let's not
Yeah.
dance around. See, that's the thing when it comes to the caveman. People like to dance around them. And I think the
Mm-hmm.
more we acknowledge it's them, when we acknowledge these social issues, we'll be like, it's they is always, we know who they and them is. We know who the real
Yeah.
they them is. The
Right.
deep state. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The deep state is definitely mostly probably white people with also mixed in their multicultural stuff. Maybe it's because people dance around with it, white and black, is, and even myself to be, I keep it 100 always, but it's because it does. It's kind of like you're fucking up the party. Everyone's in this lullaby of fairy tale reality of that race doesn't, even though it may be a construct and all that, it's real enough that it does pull the strings of this matrix we're living in. That's a component, right? And if we do talk about these uncomfortable truths for some folks, well, it it's kind of like that moment in the horror movie, like where the person finds out, like, no, I'm a demon, raw, all this, you know what I mean, type of
Mm-hmm.
shit. And like that's why people don't want to bring it up, because you're opening up a can of worms that hits hard. And for me, I don't hold anything against like these, because most of the white people I know, they're not they're not literally doing this shit. However, let's acknowledge the fact that some of their ancestors did put these system of supplication of non-black people and even in them, even white people, into existence, right?
Well, this what I like to say when because I've had these kind of conversations with people that was palm complexion. You know what I mean? And they hit you with that was then, this was now. I didn't do it, da da da.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, but you not banging against it. You not giving your money away.
Mm-hmm.
You not banging on the system. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I always like to say if you was waiting in line for tickets and somebody cut the line and start letting like 20, 30 people in, you'd react like, oh, what the fuck going on? Like they gotta get to the back of the line. Like, hold
Right.
on, you know what I mean? They cutting the line. And what is the decency of every person that got in line? They gonna say, well, I didn't cut you off, right? I'm just
Mm-hmm.
utilizing the benefit of the line cut. Right in your face, right in your motherfucking face. And then like play innocent and victim like it's like, well, give me your spot in line then. That's what you'd yell up to the jerk in front of you that's like, hey buddy, like no, motherfucker. Nobody forced you in line. Now that we
Right.
know you cut in line and you want to play that, well, it was the dude, it was my ancestors that cut the line, right? I'm just funneling through the cut in line that they established. So you like, well, switch spots with me then. You come live in this project and let me come live in the suburban estate. If you really morally feel bad about cutting in line, and we talking resources and land and people dying behind this shit, like we're not talking no super minor line cut. We're talking slavery and war line cuts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to look at it like that. I mean, it's been in the interest. Just my life is a life about the economy and like mixed down the middle. Like I've been because my mom has the like European Spanish blood, Mexican blood, all that. My dad's from Mali, but I've been in. I've lived in the lower income neighborhoods, but I also went to one of some of the best schools in the state, and I've seen
Mm-hmm.
the rich and the poor back and forth. And I have to say, really, none of them want to talk about this shit. They don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's only a certain type of person that's interested in real race talk. Like my mentor, brother Ali says. He says a racist to him is someone who is proficient in the study of race. That's what he said, and I thought that was interesting because that's what we're doing here. It's not like we're trying to like make fun of people or anything like that. Because I have like shout out to Look Within. I think he's a quote unquote a white man. Like correct me if I'm wrong. No disrespect, but he's a brother that's been with us since March, since we started. We're already on episode 20, so there's no ill will or anything like that. Even myself, like I said, I have the European blood in me. This is probably why I'm so fascinated with this whole race dichotomy because at times I feel like I've been fucked over by both and also accepted by both. So
Well,
that's
this
my
is,
that's my two
and
cents, my brother.
well, I got two more cents. I'm gonna put two more cents of that on my
Okay.
tab.
Okay.
Um, Even if you're gonna be truthful to yourself, you're gonna have to point out people in your community and
Mm-hmm.
not align and stand for what they doing. And I'm an example of that. I don't just post videos of troglodyte this and Iceman that. Like, nah, I'm giving you people from my house too, saying like this dude out of line, this dude playing. You know what I mean? This dude is like. So take your bias out. Take that. Take that. You can say, well, you got black on black crime and y'all not achieving. Boom. Okay, I take that. Right. So what? So tell me what your side doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's some red pill for your ass. That's some self accountability. You
Yeah.
know, you gonna have to look in the mirror and say where you got flab around the waist at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of those people are the ones pointing their finger, talking about everyone else. This person they took our, not even took our guns. That's another America. They're taking our jobs. You don't want those jobs. Yeah, Mr. Alt-right dude, white nationalist guy, right? Come on, man. Let's talk about it for real.
I mean,
Yes.
it's like they really kill me. It's like, let's say you get robbed, right? And then you see people in your friend group with the people with the stuff you got robbed for. And you like, well, damn, is that my dining room table? And you like, yeah. This is your dining room table. And you like, well, damn, can I get that back? And they like, well, no, I'm gonna keep the table. I didn't rob you. I wasn't there for the robbery, but I'm gonna keep the table.
Right.
So you know the
Yeah.
vibes, like you know the vibes, man. The earth is. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Lord have mercy.
But nowadays, bro, my team or my crew, and with the white guys in that one and white women in it, they're poor, they're brokies, and the people I know with money in my crew are a lot of them are black. So it's funny how this shit, like we said earlier, there's exceptions to the rule too. You know, especially when you're generalizing things.
Well,
And
see,
shout
that's
out
what makes
to
it.
Shadowback.
Oh,
Shout out to
shadow
the big
back.
homies comment. And shout out to look what Eddie said. I'm a whitey. Okay. All right. Shout out to Shadowback. I think Shadowback's a a light Mexican mix a little bit. Yeah. So
See,
I
but see,
was
this is the. See, I always got to put this disclaimer out. I'm sorry. It's
uh,
not the differences, right? It's once you want to be supreme over the other difference, right? So it's cool that you from Australia and I'm from New Zealand. But the moment you start colonizing and weaponizing and there's blood on your hands, now the energy is different. So if you not racist, it's normal shit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's no big deal. It's like the moment you
Yeah. Um but not but do do you think when you come back and you answer this question, uh do you think though, like if it was a we quote unquote black nation, like some of the black nationalist groups had their way though, let's say a SETI, Umar Johnson, or even trying to think of someone that's even not as polarizing, or Sinetta. I only know YouTubers, bro. That's sad when the quote unquote black leaders are YouTubers, right?
Mhm.
But do you think like if SETI or them though they would extend the same courtesy like you did about like I don't really care about your your color per se as long as you are atoned to righteousness. I'm paraphrasing. Was I right with that, brother? What you kind of like what you said earlier?
Yeah, I would say so. Um, I would say so.
I hear a little so how would you refine that then? I hear a little maybe. Yeah.
Well, well, their stitch is as long as you uh, acknowledge the truth, right? So if the truth is the Cushites and the Nubians established, like let's make it even more. Let's make it even more serious. Take up there in Rome and England and all that, right? You got all those old crests with Moorish black heads on the top of the shield. It's endless of them. It's you can't even. It's a bunch of them, right? If you're going to acknowledge, yeah, this was the house my daddy left me, then cool, right? It won't be no confrontation of ideas and agendas. But the moment you start lying or taking credit or discrediting, then you may not be welcome in the house, right?
Mm, yeah. What if they say nothing and just keep go about their business being righteous and whatnot? or is being righteous a part of that? Saying, speaking up.
Yeah, you got to put your faith in action. You got to put your ideas in. Like you got $1 million idea,
Hmm.
you have to put it into manifestation. Whether you say it, do it. If you got a good idea, let's say you have a good idea to help the homeless cat on the corner or the homeless guy on the corner. If you
Yeah.
never do it, it was like, yeah, you had a you had a good idea, but
Yeah.
you don't get the
But
same.
well, that's speaking of that, like the bring back the Tommy thing where he talked about there was a black dude with tattoos on his face from head to toe, and he a homeless dude, and then a white dude too, and he let them sleep on his couch. I don't know if I'll go that far though. Helping,
I would.
yeah,
I would. I mean, see that's where decency goes both ways. If you was out here homeless and somebody
uh
been
huh,
like, yo, bro, man, come upstairs, I'm gonna let you crash on the couch, cook you some noodles and shit.
yeah, yeah,
As a decent person, you supposed to be
right,
grateful.
right, right,
Wow, you supposed
yeah,
to be blown away with the
for sure,
humility,
sure. But you
right?
know what my reason? No, I see what you're saying. But you know what my reasons for saying no would be?
Hmm.
Like it would be because I have a wife and a son in my house, and I don't trust motherfuckers, you know. But if I was single and it was just me, then I could see where you're. I could see myself probably doing that, helping them cooking and helping them get to a better place. But
Well, hey, I might have to put this out there. I used to always, tell
mhm,
a lot of people I knew watch true crime. And I say, damn, you don't see too many righteous kills in true crime communities. Like it's always
right,
somebody wrong as shit. I'm like, I want to see more righteous kills. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
something like that would be, maybe it's just my book. I don't even want to make it law or something like that. I'm just saying, I think that would be a righteous kill. If you saw somebody sick on the
oh yeah,
corner
yeah, yeah, for sure.
and you was like, oh, let's take him upstairs, get him some hot soup. This dude like he about to die in the cold. He
Yeah,
wake up and mistreat the family in a
yeah,
serious way. I know in a type of way I know you might be thinking something crazy.
hmm,
Yeah, like come on, man. An animal would do you like that. They let you in the nest and you playing with the goddamn chicks and puppies. The animal
yeah,
will fuck you up.
right. They would
So I
know. Yeah,
mean, I don't know, man. It's you got to be brave to do good. You got to be
true,
brave. You're gonna get
true.
into some fights, and you will see the firefighters are brave, and they run into burning buildings for a living. That's a real hero. You got to be
Hmm.
brave to be a hero.
Yeah, you do to put yourself out there. And then we're talking about put yourself out there in terms of like speaking up. If you really do think, uh, what you would call it, like the fucking devil that, made this system and, acknowledge the fact. Maybe you don't agree with it at this point, but at least acknowledge it, especially if you're talking about race, honestly, right? If you're gonna bring up race, you definitely need to bring up that part. And I thought it's funny because like I was talking to Tommy because he wants to come over to our channel sometime next week. So I want to talk to you about that. And I can already tell because he said he's been listening to our shows that some of the stuff that we said, especially you said, already started to plant seeds in his mind because he started to bring up like white privilege, and surprisingly, he was talking about like kind of like your talking points on it, which was interesting.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you're gonna be real, see, when I
Yeah.
listen to a lot of them red pill alt right dudes talk to Tariq,
Hmm.
they just want to have insult. That's like for those of us that know what the dozens or joning or sigging,
Yeah.
ragging, you just want to call me a nigga and talk about some book. Like you
Hmm.
don't really want to have a conversation. And it's kind of like this was crazy about the red pill shit. They always say women don't take accountability.
Right.
You walking around with the same delusions as
Exactly.
the transformer. Am
Yeah.
I the only person living in the tell that where's Illuminati Tommy at? We could do let me relax, bro. I'm just saying,
No, yeah, he's cool. Like, no, don't get me wrong. I told him about like the rules of my channel and our show. Not to speak for you, but only because you weren't there, right? And I said like, we don't do that shit over here. Like, at least like all those like racial slurs and all that stuff. And if they do, we'll flush you. I'll flush you. However, I mean, if I knew you before, maybe I'll give you a warning as a courtesy. But we don't accept that shit. And he was saying like, I wouldn't do you like that. Say that type of stuff and the only thing I'll do is just be myself, meaning like he'll still keep it real, but and
No, yeah,
so
yeah.
any either way, when he found out that you're from DC, he got excited, bro, because he's like, "Oh, I used to live there," and then it's
Yeah,
all
so you
good.
know the vibes,
Yeah,
Tony. You
he
know the
knows the vibes,
vibes.
eh?
You know,
Yeah,
all I'm saying is that this is the most I can
I
say.
think he's a good dude. That's me, like off of actually talking to him, but that doesn't mean that we can't have these honest conversations too, which I
I
think it would
mean,
be
yeah.
good to have talk to him. Yeah,
No, I'm with that. I'm saying, but this
yeah,
is my thing. I agree to be respectful.
right, right.
If you going to refrain from calling me a nigga every other line, Tommy,
Yeah,
I can agree
he's
to
not gonna do it.
refrain. No, I'm just saying I can agree to refrain from matching that energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm cool with that. We can talk about some shit
Yeah.
because I'm not afraid. This is my thing, Tommy. I mean, I know I'm giving him some
No, he's
early
listening. He's
building.
listening right now. I know. I mean, he's
Listen,
live right now on the show, but he's gonna listen to this, bro.
no, look, that's what I'm saying. All I'm saying
Yeah.
is I'm willing to admit the shortcomings on my team.
Mm-hmm.
You should be willing, as an adult male, red pill, stand on business, Caucasoid.
Right.
You should be
Right.
able to take accountability for the flaws on your team. And the moment you
Yeah.
don't do that, that's looking real feminine because we
I
say
think.
women don't take accountability. Talk
Yeah.
to me, Tommy. Talk to me, Tommy.
He said, "Talk to him, Toddy. Come with that the old school Howard Stern
Yeah, I
energy,
would
not
have loved
that
to
new
talk to
school,
him.
not that new school Howard Stern woke shit with the old school. You know what? Know what's funny? I was in the panel in the back and waiting to go on, and he had that Jack. He brought Jack Talcott on. Mr. Peace Love dude in the panel verse, and he hates that guy, and because he thinks he's fake, right? Fake love, a pastor, and he was calling him a cracker this and this cracker ass. I was like, damn, bro, you don't have to do all that shit for me. It's like, come on, man. But but yeah, let's set that up. I'll talk to you on backstage about that. But back to this woke shit, bro. Um, yeah, it's become a pandemic in the world. The woke shit, so much so that people are afraid to say it, even in the quote quote conscious community. Right? I don't even hear it anymore. Or is it? Or do you hear it?
Nah, I really don't. I've had some people kind of check me on it, and I have to explain the whole. They stole it and flipped that, but I just be trying to bring it back.
Yeah. Epidemic, bring it back. What is this? Read that for me on code. Epidemic.
Damn,
Apprehendmic. Okay. Like
apprehend.
apprehending
Yeah,
pandemic. Okay.
apprehendment.
Brown's boy's pretty clever with his words and his puns. So Browns, shout out to Browns boy 23 out there in the TML land. Machine Lies, right?
Yeah,
It's
that
one of the
was heavy.
mods. What the hell? What the hell was going on when you went over to TML? Did you listen to him and you said Pill Eater was over there?
Yeah, no, they was building.
Yeah,
I just dropped a salute.
yeah,
And I had to, I had to get ready for our show, so I just was trying to show some
yeah.
support. Um, but I ain't really catch what they were saying. I was letting them cook.
Uh, bro, like I would like the Pill Eater to. Of course, I always want friends, a friend of the show. I like him to be at least an acquaintance of the show, and maybe if he's listening or not. But that was kind of a letdown when he left. When we both went over to JR panel, right? Indigenous JR panel. because
Yeah.
it would have been nice to discuss some things. But yeah, oh, we're always open here. I mean, I'll drop the link. Anybody wants to come down, you don't mind, code. I'm gonna drop the link. If you have
Yeah.
anything
So
else,
man, no. I
or
mean, that's I love to build, with the family.
yeah, yeah, we don't bite, man, unless you fucking perturb us. I don't see like, yeah, don't be afraid. What's that song by Aaron Hall? Don't be afraid. Don't be
Hmm.
afraid, baby.
No,
Be afraid.
I ain't really even trying to, you know, to do all that. Like I say, whenever I'm encountering somebody, I'm really trying to learn something. I'd rather learn something from you. So
Right,
if you could kick something from from your perspective, that's dope. I ain't really trying to argue.
right. Shout out to Watt Life. It was a Georgia Bulldog. Is that not Georgia Bulldog, or that's not Georgetown? Is that one of your people? One of your
Um,
subscribers or friends?
Maybe with the
Yeah,
Georgetown. Oh, that might be Georgia. I think that's Georgia too.
that's
It might
Georgia,
be the
huh?
same.
It's just
Yeah.
they rip each other's shit, huh? The schools, the mascot.
Hmm.
Yeah. Speaking of mascot, was that you who was breaking down the Duke Blue Devil?
I think we were talking about it one night,
We're talking about it. Yeah, yeah,
but
hmm
I've heard other people break it down.
yeah,
When they get into Shiva being blue, and
yeah.
the
Shout out to
like the
Watt.
demons.
Shout out to Watt Life. Yeah, but yeah, the Shiva, the blue god, the blue man, with the blue meanies, um, the blue screen. I've ever noticed in a lot of those archival pictures you can use online. Remember that famous meme with the white dude with the coffee cup and the blue shirt? The 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 color blue is used to kind of disarm people and make them feel comfortable. You
Yeah, it's
know?
supposed to be the color of trust.
Yeah, color of trust. Comment from Brown's Boy 23. A good teacher can learn from anyone or everyone thing for sure. This is why people say probably like this world we're living in is a school, right? You've heard that one. What do you think about
Hmm.
that?
I mean, yeah, it's the technology that we use as a measuring stick that's getting us further advanced as civilization. So, it took knowledge, it took people sitting around bouncing ideas and having lectures to come up with cell phone towers and fiber optic ideas and shit. So, yeah,
Right.
it's good to learn as much as you can. You might change the world with your shit.
It may change the world for sure. Let's our boy let's check out his page real quick. Donut. Bring this up real quick. What'd you say? Brown boy said hypnosis. It's all in the hips. In the
Mm,
hips. The thrusting. Yeah. Hypnosis is true. It seems like society consensus reality is a mass hallucination that most people agree on. You know, and
yeah.
because it's like what's considered real is not necessarily real. I think that sounds very like Zen and cryptic, but just like how like we are talking about politics earlier, like how could people put so much faith? It's a hallucination on these two parties, you know, on these Trumps and Harrises and Bidens, and yeah.
Well, see, people be biased with they learning, right? And I kind of used to feel like that with Donut a little bit. Like you into the it's some. I mean, he kind of got into B Dale and on these
Hmm.
scenario and all that, but I'm like, it's a lot of other dudes you could be bringing on with these paranoid Americans and all that.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I noticed when I talk to some of these people of kind of European descent, it'd be like they'll like kind of what happened with the dude that night. Like they'll be profound in they like the Robert Zephyrs, right? They be profound in who they have subscribed to and learned from, but anything outside of that, they kind of hold it as like maybe, and that's
Mm,
interesting, and
yeah.
I don't know about that. Like,
Well, it goes back to what we talked about earlier in the sense that these are images from Bdell Donut's last video. Uh, it goes like putting yourself out on a limb, right? Righteousness and putting yourself out on a limb. You got to put yourself out there. You got to fight. If you're truly a fighter, put yourself out there. And a lot of times, people, I get it. People want to be careful with their words, which is commendable, because what your words speak volume. However, just to say, because they don't want to look like they subscribe to this or that, instead of like Brown's boy saying and learning from it, they don't want to say give you credit. And that's one thing I like about Bobby. One of the things that Bobby Hemmett would say when he made in these small consciousness groups in the 2000s, early 2000s, he says this is a place where we come up with these ideas and present this knowledge and whatnot. And what's cool about it is in these spaces is we don't automatically condemn when someone brings up something, even though we might have some, think it's questionable. We let it ride so we can get it out there first, and then we can maybe, chop it up or whatever, right? It seems like a lot of people don't want to put themselves out there and be like, okay, maybe I don't agree with everything he says, but let him get it out, you know?
yeah, I
Because
don't have no
sometimes things
problem.
need time to
Yeah,
breathe, right?
hey, I mute the mic in a heartbeat, and
Yeah,
let them cook. I mute them. I don't got a problem muting the mic.
yeah.
The final solution for Israel will be the Knights Templar takeover.
That's funny that we started in this. He's Jewish, right? Donut. You already said he said the final solution for Israel. I randomly
Yeah.
started playing it. That's a synchronicity, huh? And he has your
Mm-hmm.
Knights Templar on there. Well, you've done the math on that in the Wild Man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We covered that as well. So these are just the symbols. I'm not dissing any of these people. I'm just saying, like, look, I'm into symbology. I'm into symbolism. I'm into the history of the secret societies.
Kind of like what we say. He's saying he's into everything. I mean, not everything, but a lot of this occult, like knowledge and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even though he had Bedell there, do you still think he's a little bit closed off to certain things?
I would say yeah. Because it's like, you would have thought he had Billy Carson on there. Why would he not have
Mm-hmm.
Billy Carson?
Well, I think me personally, rather listen to Bedell than Billy Carson. Maybe he couldn't get him. No, he could have got him. Billy Carson goes on smaller channels, huh?
Yeah, he went on
Yeah.
Black Magic Channel.
Yeah.
What's the dude? Satanic
Brother
Rob,
Rich.
Brother Rich.
He has more
Brother
subs
Rich.
than him. He has more subs than Donut though. Like about
Oh, for
100K
real?
more.
Damn.
He has like about a 250,000 subs, I believe.
Jeez.
Yeah. Donut has 134 and counting. But still though, it's a big channel. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but some of them dudes don't be kind of having them alt-right undertones. You know what I mean? Truth
Yeah.
Seeker, Tommy Truthful, Paranoid
Mm-hmm.
American. Those kind of give me MAGA
Mega
and
vibes.
QAnon. And see, that's the thing. QAnon, that's how you know it was the red pill that switched the woke word up on us, because how would the alt-right get into conspiracy theories? Like, y'all racist white dudes. Like, if those the dudes in the driver's seat, if America didn't
No,
clearly,
no. Oh, Well, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep going. I'll add some stuff. Keep listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you're not oppressed by other elite racist white guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got a conspiracy theory, you keep trying to turn the tiny hat
Yeah.
into a different ethnicity than you.
Yeah.
No,
I
don't get me
I
started.
now get it started. This is our channel. We can speak freely. No, I would say like I respectfully push back a little bit on some of that by saying I think these guys, the alt right, for example, that are into conspiracy, are like the quote unquote white dudes that were let out of the meeting. You know, the
Mm,
upper echelons, and they have so much hatred and vitriol for not being a part of that good old boy network, right? That they're like, fuck it, I'm gonna flip the table over and expose all you scammers and cheaters and dominators, right? I think that's the motivation for, and also too, there's a lot of like racial shit for stuff for sure, but social economic thing has a bit to do with it. There's a lot of poor white people out there too, you know.
so
And
this time,
go
mm,
ahead.
no, it really low key triggers me because it's like, then how you can't be poor and racist because it's one particular race that's at the top of the pyramid in
But
America. So make
yeah,
it make
rationally you
sense.
can. Well, okay. Well, I guess I'll use my 37% allegedly Spanish blood, European blood right now. I
Hmm.
guess rationally it could make sense by it's not rationally. You're right. Rationally, how can you be racist when you're in the same boat and poor when you're in the same boat of a lot of black people, you know, that are poor and getting held down and shit by the quote unquote man, the white man, right? I think it's because they're ignorant, and that's not rational to think what that way of thinking. You know what I mean? You would think it'd be like brotherly, right? It's like, hey, this is my brother, or at least cousin, cool cousin. Like, but no, because a lot of these people too, some of these people didn't even grow up around that many black people, and the ones they saw was very limited too. So I think it's ignorance. Which is the stem of all racism, I think.
So look, I'm standing on business for conspiracy theories.
Hmm.
Theorists. We all know that in the late '90s, early 2000s, truth seekers, there was no toxicity amongst truth seekers, right? So if a person was giving you some information, let's say you got William Cooper talking
Uh
about
huh.
some UFO shit that he done found.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't
Real
hear
deal, William
people,
Cooper. Yeah.
right? I didn't hear people of different ethnicities like, man, fuck William Cooper, he white. It's like people was the information trumped any bigotry. So it's like
Yeah.
when QAnon get in the mix,
Y-
and you want to bring up the tiny hats running the world and fucking the shit up, and it's like, bro, you with the tiny hats? Like, I'm not going. I
Mm-hmm.
don't play that.
You be QAnon?
Yes, man. That
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
a
For sure.
that is
It's a
a
psyop too, right? Can we?
side
I mean, we.
eye.
It's a psyop, bro. Even like some of those same white nationalists will agree with that. It's a psyop. But will they? Some of them admit that they were part of it, and they were and they were actually fanning the flames of it, right? That's another thing, because Tommy Illuminati, he got intrigued when he heard you talk about the January 6th insurrection, you know, and he was saying he went on I think Tollable Earth TBE show, and he when told TBE was interviewing a guy that was actually there
Mm-hmm.
supposedly, and
Mm-hmm.
Tommy was saying that he actually it was a kind of a not the show was doing his thing, but Tommy was asking like hard hitting questions about it and like getting the guy to speak more about it, coax some more shit about the event out of it, and so he said he wanted to talk to us about that too, and and the yeah, QAnon is a joke, bro. Like, but they use real conspiracies because I actually Rupert Poot from the Netherlands, who's in our Discord, I think he put out a couple years ago. He gave us the link, the wiki links for QAnon thing, and also the WikiLeaks. And a lot of those QAnon shit was real shit, but then there was also some weird shit in there, bro, that had nothing to do. And I wouldn't doubt if they had some racial shit in there too. But
Man,
I'm
they
only
do.
speculating because I didn't read it all.
Man, they do.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were allies. When I first heard of QAnon, first thing I thought it was like a branch off from Anonymous. You see what my
Yeah.
you see what my thumbnail pic? I look at Anonymous as like the 12 disciples, like Anonymous really fighting the fight, right? And it's never been questioned, has Anonymous been compromised or and they not all black people and Indian kids from Sri Lanka. Like these is suburban skate, you know what I mean? Suburban out, like you see what the ones that get arrested, you see what they look like. I ain't making this up.
Well, let's do the next show on that. Keep talking. Let's keep building on it. But yeah, because I want to learn, because I don't, just like I showed you some stuff about the red pill. I want you to show me and the viewers, the audience, some of the family about the Anonymous, because I only have a visceral surface level overview of it.
Anonymous.
Which that's probably why I question them too a little bit.
Man, it's
because I don't know.
I didn't. The first time I heard about the dark web was looking into Anonymous, maybe 10, maybe 15 years ago, definitely 10. But I didn't know that we was only using a small tip of the internet, and and when they finally caught up with the head dude, quote unquote, of Anonymous, I can't think of his name, Sergeant something, or he had some little slick screen name. He was a white dude, you feel what I'm saying? But he's talking about Edward Snowden. He's talking about all kind of shit that had the government really coming to see him, right? The shit that they was doing with the companies and shit. And it's like that right there within itself, you could tell that I don't know if they compromise. I think they legit is what I'm trying to say, because that's an unnecessary evil. And if they was fake, the real hackers, the real scammers that's really taking money out the back pocket of America, because that led me to the scammer thing too. The digital plan, like it's borderline criminal enterprise, because technically they breaking the law with some of the shit that they doing with the hacking shit and getting in the company banks and shit.
We just got 1 billion, 2 billion people in North America, Canada, America, and US and Mexico got hacked. Everyone's social security number, supposedly.
It's only two people that could do that. Yeah, I think I did hear about that. It's only two people that could do that.
Neurojack told me about that.
Either the government or Anonymous did that. Your local scammer that's getting money off Cash App, and they didn't do that. It took some real deal hack. You got to really know some firewall shit, wormhole shit.
Yeah.
So, I think it's dope. You know what I mean? But I say that to say, when I heard about QAnon, I thought it was a branch of Anonymous. So I'm like, oh shit, it's a new contender has entered the dark. You know what I mean? Like, we got a new recruit. Then when I get to looking into him, I'm like, oh, what the fuck is going on here?
What was the first tell? Red flag code?
Images. When I hit images, when I put it into Google, and then hit images, and I saw them January 6 boys dressed up like the police and the SWAT team, I was like, oh, no, I know who this is.
Yeah. You saw the Pepe the Frog, too?
I know that's some... Yeah, I know that's. I don't know the lore, but I know that's a little symbol in they group.
Yeah. So you saw the what do they call him? The QAnon shaman. He looked like your Minotaur, your Centaur that you did the build on her.
Come on, man. Is anybody woke? Or we want to be sleep? Woke is bad, and we want to be sleep. Is anybody woke?
Yeah.
Where's
Shout out.
Tommy?
Where's Tommy? He's doing his show, man. He's talking about us. I mean, in a good way. Like he's ready for it. He's excited. You
No,
know.
I'm
So
yeah, no, I'm listen, Tommy. It's all respect. I'm
if
looking
he's
forward to you, brother. I'm
yeah,
looking forward to you.
if
Like then
anything,
again,
if anything, if we end up early, if he's still going out, we can go pop over there and talk to him for a second as like kind of like a prequel. But shout out to she was on she or he, I think I'm not sure, the brother or sister, Neutral Ground, a higher NPC on code. Yeah, saying all the chat, Watt Brown. She, I think it's I'll just say she. She's cool. Like she lives like some great comments, and she likes our content, and we thank you for supporting the content and give us your
yes
thoughts.
indeed. Yes
Yeah,
indeed.
and she was over there at Tommy's too. Let me see, but she found us from NPC the game. He or she found us at NPC the game. I mean, excuse me, I'm NPC. I'm tripping. Trying to do too many things. Machine Lies, TML. There's all these acronyms on code. I gotta get
Mm-hmm.
straight, you know. So, oh yeah, here's a comment that they said. Neutral ground comment. Aeons were like Robin Hood in the beginning. IMO,
Mm.
IMO. See, you see, IMO. Yeah. So they were right. That's what you thought. You were excited. You thought like that was a rookie of the year in terms of this truther stuff, right? Let's see what's
Cause
gonna happen, but it was a
I
letdown. Sounds like.
man, I thought the truth. See, we didn't. They called us conspiracy theorists. We called ourselves the truth community, the truth seeking community, the free thinking community. We never was like really that. That was kind of like a borderline insult. Like, ain't no fucking theory. Like,
Hmm.
we be proving shit. We be doing the research shit. We go look through the paper. Like, it don't be no theory half the time with this shit. So that was kind of like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, you know, when huh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was saying no, no. This was a comment from Neutral Ground. Him and Tommy and Lemonati and Steven are on there hating everyone together. And bro, like that Steven guy, that's the one I told you I went on his show and he was talking about how this world's a hell realm, like the prison planet shit, and he was just a downer, bro, trying to
But
get me
because of
to fall
who?
his cult. Huh?
Man, because of who? That's what killed me with these dudes. Like,
Oh, he's the Hank picture dude, Steven.
oh, that's Hank?
That's him. That's him. What's his name? Sanity Machine from Canada. Yeah.
Man,
Hmm.
Hank, I need to talk to Hank too, man. Hank ain't on code. I need to talk to Hank.
He said, Neutral Ground said he's blatantly racist, Steven for sure. Right?
Oh, Steven, the white dude?
He's the one that Tommy was saying that he said that black people in Africa never had any innovations. Come on, brother. I'll say not even brother. Come on, son. I'm gonna son you, bro. You ever heard of mathematics and science and philosophy and art
I was about to say, just
and
say Egypt.
civilization?
We
I'll go
if I
before
say something,
that.
nah,
That's
but
the downfall, brother.
if you say
Okay.
something too educated, it's not going to resonate, right? So if you
Yeah.
say Nubia, if you say the Dogon, if you say Timbuktu, he don't understand that that's an NBA championship. He don't know the magnitude of that. He
Yeah.
understand Egypt though. You
Yeah,
understand
I
one
get
plus one,
for sure.
simple motherfucker. Don't put Egypt in the Middle East and up in Italy and all that goofy shit. Egypt, motherfucker. Talk about Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck is he talking about? What the fuck did they come up with? The Moors is at the top of y'all billboard charts. I'm gonna do a video with all them craps.
Billboard charts.
I'm gonna do a video with all them craps. It's gonna be 30 minutes of me scrolling through all them. I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna do
Okay.
a video. No, fuck that.
Do it. We'll
Yeah, I'm
wait. We
definitely
want to
gonna
see
do
that.
it.
Yeah. He said the neutral ground said no. You guys are too intelligent and have understanding of many topics. They don't read and get most of their information from hate groups. Wow.
You
Yeah.
can't be intelligent and be racist. The smart thing to do is to work together. I'm not.
Yeah.
War is for the group and the brute. war is not for the intelligent and civilized.
Mm.
Business is for the intelligent. Like, let's do business. You ain't got to fuck with me and integrate. That's cool. I'm not. Let's do business. You got something for sale. I got something for sale. Like you know, I'm not. I'm not gonna come burn your village down. Don't come burn my village down. Like it's not really the hate is on them. But
Right.
don't be surprised when a motherfucker defending themselves. So don't label me as no black nationalist, racist, black supremacist. Nah. But also don't label me, wrong because I'm not just going. I'm going to defend myself. You bring in war,
Right.
I'm gonna have to throw punches back. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah, on code, what do you identify as?
Um, carbonated being. We carbonated being.
Mm.
I mean, we
I
want
like
to
it.
we want to reduce it down to layman's terms.
Well,
But a non-ether. Whoever
well,
got that non-ether hair, the coil, and the kink.
hmm I have mine in the curlers, like in my avatar right here, looking like Big Perm, Big Worm. That's actually
Mhm.
Doc. That's actually Doc Ellis, the starting pitcher in the '70s for the Pirates, bro. He was a trip, bro.
Mm.
He's the only player alleged to pitch a no hitter on acid.
Mm.
Yeah, he was also very outspoken in terms of like civil rights and stuff. He was a cool dude, bro. We do a build on him someday. But yeah,
Gotcha.
this is on code. So they're asking about you in the chat, my brother. And she said she can't wait to go through your content, your material. I can't wait to dive into on codes, but you're gonna love it, bro. That's bro, sis. Are you a woman or a man? You don't have to answer that, but that way I'll just call you neutral ground, NG. Keep it simple. They got me woke on code with the woke terminology now. So anyway, this is on code's channel at on code 777. Here it is. Check it out. It's fire. We have his newest video on the Minotaur. Centaur. I always say Minotaur, but it's Centaur, right?
Well, yeah, the Minotaur's like the bull dude. Uh, I think the satyr is the goat dude. I don't see nothing. Was you trying to?
What'd you say? I'm about
I
to
said, I
put it
don't.
on right now.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm a
yeah,
little slow.
I think the Minotaur is the bull, the bull man in the maze. I
Hmm.
think the Centaur is like the horse dude, like Sagittarius.
Arba, right? And Kiriath, I believe, means city, and Arba means four, and named after Arba, which here is a lot of times translated as four, but it's also said it was the greatest man among the Anakim. Now, is that because he had four sons? Is that because he's number one here, and these are three sons? Is he related to Anak? It's hard to judge, to dive into that. All right, continuing. Numbers 13:33 mentions that these sons of Anak come from the Nephilim, which is the only
Hold on,
explicit connection.
pause. For all the
I
alt
didn't say
right.
anything gay. You tell me pause.
No, yeah, pause the
I know, I was
video.
kidding.
Pause the video. So for all the alt right Christians out there, in the sound of my voice, the good book, the Bible itself, say that Esau, Jacob and Esau, they always depicted as one was brown, one was red, and made it with the Nephilim. They say the fallen angels made it with the Son of Man and had giants and right. That's Yah. You made it with the you laid with the demon, and this is a Caucasoid depicting this information. I didn't dig this up, and it's a slanderous attack. Nah, this is a white dude saying
Hmm.
this is what it is, y'all.
Yeah. So the title is Isa. Is how you say Usa?
Esau, yeah.
Who's that? Mated and bred with the Centaur.
That's
Foot
that's
Baphomet. Is that
Jacob's
Moses?
brother.
Oh,
So
Isa.
yeah.
Okay.
So listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm glad you brought this up. Let's really break some shit down.
Let's do it.
Esau is depicted as the Edomite. The Hittite, that's the white people.
She said
Esau, Edom.
she's neutral ground said they don't want to hear that. See it. She's right.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Now let me really bring it full circle right quick.
All right, go ahead, bro. Cook.
So Jacob and Esau was brothers. Jacob tricked Esau out the birthright. And Jacob went on to get his name changed to Israel by wrestling a fallen angel. Some say he wrestled the devil. Some say he wrestled, I think it might have been Gabriel or Michael. He wrestled one of the archangels, and they changed his name to Israel. So this is
wrestling with means wrestling with God, right? To wrestle with God. Yeah.
This is supposed to be your chosen Judaic people coming from Israel, coming from Jacob. This is biblical. This is not my thought, right? So how you Esau, Canaanite, right? And you got the Ashkenazi looking like Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. How you Judaic? How you Israeli? How you of Jacob? When you Esau, Edomite, right? The hairy one, the wild. The Bible literally say he was the hairy one.
He came out hairy, right? Because the dad was Jacob was blind, and he's able to tell because of the hair, right? Who was who? Yeah. But they tricked him. They tricked him.
Yeah,
they put some animal fur on him. Yeah.
Yeah, come on, animal fur. Hold on. All right, where you at? Christian National, where you at? The animal fur was so synonymous with Esau, the Edomites, the Ashkenazi, right? That it tricked one of the prominent biblical figures of his own son, the goat hoof. The woolly sheep leg tricked his own father. That's how close to the beast. If you want to be by the Bible, you a Christian nationalist, right? The Bible say you the hairy man. England said the hairy man is like the mythical Bigfoot, a giant, elusive, stinky beast that causes mayhem and hide in the woods.
And you had to throw in stinky in there, but I would say that's not an ad hominem attack, but literally the people that encountered the Bigfoot, they say it's a repugnant smell, right? It's like so strong.
Come on, man. I done the research on why the wet dog smell come off the Caucasoid. Right? Nobody ever said, well, it's
a straight hair, aka fur, right?
Hey, I mean,
does a sheep smell like that? That's what I want to know. I wouldn't think so because we have lamb's wool, right? Hair.
Right. So not to my knowledge, I haven't heard that, but from the research I did, the scientist lady said it's a sweat gland that's synonymous with the dog. It's like the scientist couldn't deny it. You know what I mean? So it's like it's these type of self accommodations that these gonna have to be acknowledged, because that thwarts your white supremacy standpoint. Once you really get into the narrative of who civilized you, let's just start there with the Moors. Who civilized you? And you ungrateful
Moses.
motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? We already know what Moses looked like. We're not gonna do that.
Lamb's wool.
Through the desert. You walking through the desert with no sunscreen. Would Harvey Weinstein have made that trip through the desert out in Egypt? No,
actually, my old teacher, Jason Kafis, Elis Kafis, he says that the Jews had if you look at their writings a lot, they have a disdain for nature, Mother Nature, and the outdoors.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean?
We know
you were in the desert for allegedly 40 years. And we know, but biblically, when people say 40 those are symbolic numbers, and it could have been 40 years or, you know what I mean? Or 40 months. But so if you hate nature, you ain't going to be wandering in that you're going to figure a way out of that, right? So we're talking about different people, maybe.
And then you got the nerve. If you, so for the Nazi alt-right kid that hate blacks and Jews, you got the nerve to let Jews run politics, run Hollywood, and you punching down on Negroes.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why to me the white supremacy, I get it. there is systems in there of oppression that are still running in clock motion. However, in my mind, there ain't no white supremacy, because in my narrative, in my mind, I know where you came from. So that's how I look at it. And I think sometimes, and the reason why me personally, I don't have my awareness focus on that word so much is because I don't want it to become a self-fulfilling prophecy. There's a name for it. I just read about that, like where you can make something that's not real become real if you keep focusing on it.
That's
You know
what
what I mean?
they're doing. That's exactly why.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. White supremacy is not a reactionary term of white dominance. White power is their chant.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
feel where I'm from?
But that's
So
what's confusing. What you just said, though, I don't think a lot of people know that code, white or black. Like when they say that, I get the feeling, the visceral, the feeling that no, they believe that those motherfuckers are superior. When in fact, you're saying it's their reactionary term, and not the actual critique reality of what's going on. You know. So I think I'm glad you made that distinction, and maybe I need to share that thought you had more because, yeah, because I don't hear
that's
anyone else really saying it like that, man.
and this is my thing. Everybody love the cross, right? The preacher got the cross. Mother Teresa got the cross. How you burning the cross and you Christian? So
It is weird.
you feel what I'm saying?
Antichrist shit. Yeah, because they're into magic. Look at those hoods, those KKK hoods, and the colors, and they call themselves wizards. It's very occult and mystical, and even in the Catholicism in Mexico, they wear those hoods that look like KKK robes. You know,
That's how you get Nick Fuentes. You see what I'm saying? It's all
Italian
you
Mexican. Yeah,
come
yeah,
on now.
yeah.
So
Natural Ground said egregores are collective thinking them into existence. Yeah, egregores are like thought forms, right? Like that they come into like all these things, these words, and like even woke is an egregore that's almost physical because people use it so much, huh?
but it's really a Masonic term as well, because when you go through your initiation, they lift you up out the great. They lift you up from the slumber, like you was. That's why they blindfold you. You sleep, and I'm gonna unblindfold you. I'm gonna wake you up. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put the
Right.
light on. I'm gonna flick the light on. So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just saying, man. It's like a boxer ducking the number one contender. You
Mm-hmm.
keep looking around, you know what you need to be fighting, and you wanna be racist.
Right.
That's
Read
what I'm
this.
saying.
NG says KKK is the poor Masonic fraternity.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
right. I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right.
Mm-hmm. And then Order of the Jesters would be a higher tier white Masonic fraternity, huh?
Yeah, I mean
And
that's
Shriners, even Shriners, all that stuff.
yeah,
Policemen, Masonic groups.
all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
KKK.
mean,
Yeah. Let me play some more of this. We'll keep. Let me get this right here.
A few hundred years before this time. These hybrid giants were made kings and rulers over nations, like I
Right here. This is a good one right here.
have been rolling up, is in Isaiah 60s, and then also Revelation. For God's sword shall be bathed in heaven in blood. Oh, I love that verse. God's, before he even gets to the earth, he's going to have blood on his sword from angels in heaven. Right? So behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is Edom. That's Esau, the land of Esau, Mount Seir and Horites. That land, right? We're talking about. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. Why are they of his curse? Because they took on the cursed bloodline, right? That's literally the serpent seed. And if you want to go and devolve into the devil's bloodline, you're going to be a curse maker, right?
So, what's the cursed bloodline he's talking about?
we talking about that Cain and Abel was brothers, but they didn't have the same father. When you get
Mm-hmm.
into that Gnostic Christian lore,
they say that once Eve bit the apple and knew what she knew, she did like brides do, like, well, I want to fuck the boss, right?
Hmm.
And what would a real smart cheater say? Well, if I get pregnant around the same time, you know what I mean? Then it's like he gonna think it's his. You know what I
Right.
mean? So the law is that the devil fathered Cain and
Mm.
knocked Abel off. God marked his head with a symbol of protection and sent him into the wilderness. You get your wild man, caveman,
Yeah.
kind of from
We're
that.
coming. We're coming full circle because me and Tommy were talking about. He was talking about the mark of the beast will be blatant. You know. So and you hear a lot about that in conspiracy theories about the mark of the beast and whatnot. So, but in the Bible, one of the first humans was marked as cursed, but God put a protection on him.
Because the when God kicked him out of the Garden of Eden, he was like, well, the world wants to eat me up. So that would imply that it was other people out there. But he was saying that
Hmm.
people gonna kill me when they find out what I did. So he said, well, I'm gonna put
The
the
good people,
holy.
right?
He didn't specify, but I'm assuming so, right? The people
Yeah.
that's gonna want a righteous kill, like justice type
Right.
kill. So he said, okay, well, since they good people, they people of God, I'm gonna put one of my symbols on your forehead so that you protect it.
Hmm.
Now Cain went on to be the beast. That's why they used to call it the mark of Cain. For us old heads, it was called
Mm.
the mark of Cain at first, before they started making it, sexy with the
Well, they're
mark
trying
of
to
the beast.
confuse us. It makes it
If
more
you
easy to follow the narrative when you say Cain, mark of Cain, huh?
and what do the
To follow the
videos
bloodline.
right? And they say when uh if Esau did it, you would expect Cain to do the same thing. If you sent out in the woods without a mate, you kill Abel, you got sent out to Garden of Eden. What you gonna fuck? You ain't no telling what magical beast you might run into out there, motherfucker. You
You
know
be
what I mean?
you'd be lucky if you end up with a Sasquatch. That's more humanoid than a deer. I don't co-sign and copulating with any of those any animals, but you know what I mean.
Well,
So he
listen,
probably got excited when he saw the wild woman, huh?
I love my etymology, and when Cain founded the Canaanites, it's a reason why they call dogs the K9.
Right.
If you know how it's spelled.
Mm-hmm. The same. Okay, let's bring it back to African tradition. Well, we have the Dogon though. We always talk about the dog star, right?
Now, see, this is what I was saying about having some accountability. I did videos. Did the Dogon were the Dogon contacted by fallen angels? What entity are the Nomo?
Mm-hmm.
People just get so hung up on the fruit of their tail where they knocked out the stars and now they famous. It's like, well, hold
Yeah,
on,
because
let's
they
go
want to
to the
ride on their cloud. They don't
Mhm.
realize what their cloud what it took to get it.
So I'm like, what were the Nomo? They said they came out of water.
Fish people,
Come on, like, are we
mermaid.
getting into it? Are we getting into Atlantis? Are we getting into
Mm-hmm.
reptilians? Credo Mutwa said it's reptilians. You heard he kept it
Right,
funky.
he
It was
did.
like,
He said they boned his ass.
you see what I'm saying now? So it's like
He's eating
I
people too.
I put the video up with Credo Mutwa. So this is why I be saying to my Anglo-Saxon counterparts, keep it real on your side. Say like, don't do that. Don't do that. We're gonna
Because
talk
you're
about the
keeping it
bull.
real, huh?
Yeah,
By
come on, I got videos
exposing
and
it.
all that. Yeah,
Yeah.
come on. Credo Mutwa, dude. He looked kind of sweet. He sound
He
kind of sweet.
did.
Hmm
I told the being to go gently. I don't know.
Come
He's a
on, man.
fucking. He did that German because he was colonized by German. I think the Dutch Germans. That you get that speak in the Roman Catholicism. Yeah, he's an
Man, that's
interesting
the
dude.
real. That's the real caveman for real. That's the real troglodyte.
Hmm.
Half the people
And they
in America, you got German
Absolutely.
descent. I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. Most of the English language is based on Germanic dramatic gifts.
They no longer have length of life on this earth. They did such wicked stuff. God said,
Yeah, I saw this AI. I know it was to the same video, but this week came up on my algorithm.
no one's gonna, there's no people, which brings up to the level of their
That's disgusting because I noticed it too. I'm like, why is he? The dude went with a male centaur, and he all of a sudden it morphed into a woman and children. Is that was on purpose or what? It had to be on purpose. Like, look at this shit.
is today with the stuff they have. But
Did you see that?
here we are, how evil.
That's not. I know it's AI,
the bull
but
goddess,
I'm gonna listen to what he's saying. But watch how this family came about. All code.
right by Mount Hermon, where the angels came down to their sin. That's that land there.
Okay, so they're worshiping the beast.
And the Lord destroyed them because of
all the animals, right? He's the Lord of the animals.
Were,
okay, Esau came out here, right? He got the mark of Cain or whatever, right?
Were very malignant.
That guy looked like he had a BBL that before it morphed into a deer.
And the Amorites dwelt.
They shook hands, right?
In their state.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't say like it was from like 7, 8, 9, 10, sometimes 11. It's like these guys were giant.
They shook
Sometimes
hands.
they might be like 6.
Oh, it morphed into 2. You see that? Well, they're having an orgy back there.
The little short guys.
Oh, all of a sudden we have little girls. Okay, well the guy's holding his junk.
Anyway, and their
then that's when the wife comes. Oh,
habitation was from
that's weird.
the land of the children of Ammon, when you saw the map, to Mount Hermon. And the seats of their kingdom were Karnaim, and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, and Mashur, and Bayon. Ashtaroth Karnaim is in Genesis 14. That means Ashtaroth of the 2 horns, the bull goddess, right by Mount Hermon, where the angels came down to their sin. That's that land there. And the Lord destroyed them because of the evil of their deeds, for they were very malignant. And the Amorites dwelt in their state, wicked and sinful. And there is no people today which has wrought to the full all of their sins, and they no longer have length of life on this earth.
They must have been pretty bad if they were worse than any degenerate they have nowadays, huh?
Hey, Edomite rhymes with Sodom.
Right, that's what I'm thinking about.
That's what it is.
Frisco, San Francisco. Yeah. Can't get any more Sodom Gomorrah archetype than that, right?
But see, this is why the Vikings, I did that video on the Minnesota Vikings. This is why the Vikings wore horns, right? Because when you really get into Anglo-Saxon shit like this, you really get into it, they was worshiping the horn god. They was worshiping Yahweh.
Yeah. Well, even astrologically, they say every, what is it, 25,000 years or 2,500 years that the zodiac changes, the Aeon. And it used to be Aries, which has horns, right? Which represents war. So that was like a lot of wars back at that time. And then it goes into the bull, Taurus. And this is probably where we got the goddess worship and the horned. Well, at first it was a dude, probably this guy, the centaur, but it morphed into a worshiping the whatchamacallit, the female goddess worship, they called it.
See,
this is where the mushroom cults come in, because the bull shits, the cow shits, and it becomes mushrooms. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's they call them Cernunos.
Cernunos, yes, that's the one, right? Code. Looks a lot like that Moloch character.
It is. It's ball. Right? It's pan. It is. It is. That's all I can say. It is.
Yeah. That's a comment from NG. Most people are woefully ill-informed about the subject matter at hand. To recidify the situation would require years of formal instructions, and nobody has time, patience, or inclination to deal with it. For sure, yeah. This is why, like, good comment. Like that's one of the scholars we were talking about, Islamic scholars were saying, like, the first phase of knowledge is listening. It's silence, so you can listen. right? But people want to teach. They want to go to stage 3 without even doing 1 and 2, without being silent. 1, 2, contemplating, and 3, then you can teach. You know, the Greeks have called the trivium or whatever, but it's simple, bro. You got to listen, but people don't even want to challenge they can't even challenge their paradigm worldview because they don't listen and look at what's really going on.
So that's all I'm saying, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did such wicked stuff. God said, there's no people, which brings up to the level of their sin, which I'm sure there is today with the stuff they have. But here we are, how evil they actually were. So much more clearly here, we are given the order.
Let's see this right here.
This day. So, I mean, what were they doing with the donkeys? God only knows. But this seems angelic.
Donkeys?
The important part, like the tails behind them between the shoulders. Tails aren't from between your shoulders, right? And reaching down to earth like the tails of the Shiphat. So this is angelic. I think these entities have wings. And these animals came and mounted and rode upon these asses and led them away, and they went away to this day. So, I mean, what were they doing with the donkeys? God only knows. But this seems angelic, like the tails between, like these seem like wings that reach down to the earth, like the tails of the Duchifat. So I think they've mistranslated tails and wings, right? And so I don't know if these are cherubim or if these are Nephilim, which is the difference in the angel.
You kind of made it look like the screen format like angel wings. You do that on purpose, huh?
Yeah, I was thinking snow
That's cool.
globe.
But it looks like angel wings, like he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not snow, bro. That's the angelic money shot for the beast, right? The beast.
Angel and the angel's child, right? So that's the part that's hard to tell here. But we have these strange because they have different faces. And then when we do the study of when we do the study in Greek, there's the pans and then there's the satyrs. The pans have the actual goat head, right? And the goat right here. And the satyrs have the man this part and the goat feet, right? So here we seem to have strange entities. And so there's also cherubim, right? Cherubim are four-faced angelic entities. And interestingly enough, these different four animals of the faces they have tend to be the type of children they have. So you have like the lion-faced men of Moab, and there's a lion face to the cherub. You have the bull-faced minotaur, right? And you got the bull, which is also called the cherub face of the cherub, and then obviously the man, and then the eagle. Is this an eagle here? Some the likeness of an eagle, right? Or is that a donkey? What is it? And they seem to have wings and possibly tails, and so it's definitely an interesting thing for you to dig into. So when he went, he was afraid for his life and ran, because one of the animals approached Anna and smote him with his tail and fled from the place, right? And so it specifically said, like, this person, Anna, had a child, and then that child is ended up being a wife of Esau. So is this bringing more Nephilim blood into it? This is showing you that in this land it was ran by the devil and what seems to be his children. Okay? The horrible creatures were almost forgotten by the inhabitants. They were so rejected and feared by the people that these Yamin had retired to secure remote areas and stayed hidden away from civilization. The sighting by Anna was so frightening that he feared the area the rest of his life.
This must be the ultimate mixed breed. What do they say in Harry Potter? They say mud blood. Kind of an awful term, but
Yeah, I mean, get into the
of the Middle Ages. But even though
here's another one you have, a banger. The Caucasoid is not human. Neanderthal,
frequency of the wild man's appearance in art and letters is not quite matched by the importance accorded to him in medieval thinking. His ubiquity must be regarded as a sign that he represented a major, if unacknowledged, trend of thought. All right, everybody was talking about this wild man. So is it really myth? His presence is like the running commentary with which a man's half-conscious imaginary accompanies his conscious ideals and aspirations, a reminder that there are basic and primitive impulses clamoring for satisfaction. Medieval literature and art are shot through with the mythology of the wild man. We find him in the clipped verses of French Arthurian romance, in the epics of German minstrel singers, and in the writings of Cervantes and Spenser. The whole vast field of late medieval secular art is his playground. From prints and paintings by Albrecht Dürer and Peter Bruegel to the love caskets and tapestries which medieval swains presented to their ladies, or the tools of chivalry, such as saddles and ornament weapons, his place in medieval daily life was assured by the appearance of his image on stove tiles, candlesticks, and drinking cups, and on a larger scale on house signs, chimneys, and the projecting beams of frame houses. His figures even invaded religious buildings, and in liturgical books, being found on the borders of illuminated manuscripts, on capitals, choir stalls, baptismal fonts, tomb plates, and as a gargoyle on the eaves of churches. All right, so you see where they found all this. So you see how the wild man is portrayed in all this history, right? And all this art and all these buildings. Is it more than just myth? Once on the facade of a Spanish church, it observed the place which should have been given to the saints, standing full size on the jambs of its main portal. So great then was the ubiquity of the wild man in medieval life, and so wide his acceptance in art, that the question arises what function, individual and social, a figure such as this could have exerted, and what needs it could have satisfied within the framework of medieval civilization.
Good question, right? What was the purpose of it?
It was the homunculus.
So his purpose is just to be homunculus. So it really doesn't. His purpose is just to do what it does.
Well, see, in the alchemy of homunculus, they have something called the brazen head and the golem, right? And these were apparatuses enchanted to do your will. You could control them. So the brazen head could tell the future, and the golem was just like a Frankenstein that you could just tell him like lift this building or move this car. Like it was, you could just tell it what to do at the door. Sometimes they had other
slave
powers too. Right. You feel what I'm saying? So the that's why I was saying about Groot. I gotta do the video on Groot and the mandrake. So
the root tree.
Yeah,
from Guardians.
Guardians of the Galaxy. The mandrake is a homunculus in Kabbalah. I mean homunculus in alchemy that you can grow a human being, and
Harry Potter too.
Harry Potter, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For those that's into the occult, this is familiar. I ain't saying nothing you haven't heard. You can grow a motherfucker out the bullshit and the cow manure and all that and the dirt, and it'll be plant-like. So when you get the green man, sometimes you see him depicted with the leaves as his beard and the twigs as his hair. Like he be a part of the dirt. So this ties into the lore of the wild man, like the video we watching now. So these aren't my words. This is my thing. This not some ad hominem shit. This is what the literature is saying. Check out Mind Unveiled and the One on One podcast. But check out Mind Unveiled. I don't know about One on. I ain't gonna say I don't know about One on One, but I think he practicing some of the ceremony. I think he's an occultist. Let's just keep it funky. But Mind Unveiled laid it out in layman's terms. So they did the research. Go check them out.
Yeah, and then you locked this up.
I too, Crichton.
My movie. We did the build on Furiosa a couple months ago, right? And the last scene is an ode to the Groot, or what do you call him? The
Mandrake.
Mandrake. We should watch this shit.
High up in the hydroponic gardens. Maggot.
That's what I call morning wood, huh? They put that damn tree right there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it, right?
That's
Depiction
exactly
of it. Yeah, and you see the mushrooms around him too. You got ode to the bull coat, the bull worship, right there with the mushrooms right there with the United Colors of Benetton. You remember those ads for the clothes,
Mm-hmm.
the multicultural? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Interesting. Yeah, let's go back to this green man. Let me see. I think we got Sir Nunos and the Fool. That was a banger. It's a banger you have.
I too crave nothing but revenge.
Of the Middle Ages.
Excuse me.
But even though the frequency of the wild man's appearance in art and letters is not quite matched by the importance accorded to him in medieval thinking, his ubiquity must be regarded as a sign that he represented a major, if unacknowledged, trend of thought. All right, everybody was talking about this wild man.
He got the stick behind him. So this. Okay, you see, other people have books on it too. It ain't just that, right? You got Food for Christ. You got the Lost Sands, God's Fools, right? Who's kicking this literature, right? Who don't get Jesus they props? The tiny hats, the tiny hat troglodytes, right? Let's say it what it is. Okay, so you follow me on the jester, right? And then they see how they tying Jesus to the fool and the tarot cards. But if you look in the tarot cards, you know, he traveling, right? He had like let me show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. He had like the traveling stick over. Remember the cartoons? They used to pack their bags and tie their stuff up in a bandana. I'm out of here. But
they call that the vagabond. Vagabond, huh? Like the train hopper with his little dog. Shout out to G Neutral Ground. She said, grateful to you for the mind opener of a live stream. I'll be listening and reclining. Take care. Until next time. A peace to you. Thanks for your input. Really appreciate you making the stream even better. Yeah.
Definitely.
Notice he at the ledge. No ledge knowledge. He don't know the ledge. He just looking up. Right? But notice the sun. Notice the sun in the tarot card. So they telling you it's Jesus. Remember, Jesus traveled from what Billy Carson say? Jesus went to the mystery schools, India, Tibet, China. Jesus put in the missing 33 years. So the oxymoron is how you God's son, but man learned you, man trained you. You're fool. This is how they look at it. You went and got all the mystery schools from man, and you came from God's son for us to hang you. We hanged you, and you learned. So they looking at it like, you know, you the fool.
Can you connect that the wild man to this and the fool?
Yeah. So basically, the the fool was the green man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was a fertility god. That's why it's like for spring when the flowers and and spring is usually like mating season. So this is why you get Pan, the horny goat. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
Dionysus cult.
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like kind of like the Joker, right? You just you wild in the sense of unpredictable, chaotic, violent, sexual, evil. So like
So
I
you
say,
spring forth. You spring
forth.
anything can spring out. Jack in the Box, the jester.
Jack
there,
in the Box, the jester. You see what I'm saying? This is you supposed to be smiling. It's spring. The butterflies is flying. The flowers is blooming. It's time to have sex. It's Saturnalia. It's celebration. Let's Mardi Gras. You see what? Let's Carnival of the Flesh. It's springtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sun,
Thanks for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now who known for getting hung? The hangman, right? You see the tarot card, the hangman, Jesus the fool, the holy fool. Look at the hangman. Traveler, the mysterious origins of the green man. But you see who he looked like. Mm-hmm. Yeah. These last two videos might be some of my best work. Look at the wicker moon on the forehead of the green man. If you see by you watch a lot of horror movies, you know the witches be making like the branches move, and that's why your wizard's wand come from the holly tree, right? Because it's green man shit. Like you take a piece of the green man. They showed you this with Swamp Thing. That's why he was a hero, right? Because it's the Jesus archetype. It's the right. It's like the first man, how we was made from dirt and clay. This one was made from foliage.
You see the wild man story, not only it's really evident in the Swamp Thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you really see it twisted, but you still see the narrative in Tromaville, Toxic Avenger. It looks like that. And think about it, it's like a even more distorted, disgusting view narrative of that story, where he wasn't formed from the nature and the leaves and the tree. He was formed from straight toxic waste. Yet he still was a hero. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because reading these archetypes stories are everywhere because there's probably truthful. They have some truth in them.
That's the magical side of it too, because it's already a homunculus, and it took magic to make it. So when you see the wild man with the stick, or you see the jester with the stick, I'm gonna look for all my Mortal Kombat fan, huh?
Yeah, he had a mop.
He had the
Toxic
mop.
Crazy, well, a wooden mop.
He had the mop.
Yeah, the stick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he wore a dress. Tutu.
Right? You see what I'm saying now?
They're stacking right there.
Remember
evidence
the
on
Mortal
themselves.
Kombat, in Mortal Kombat, the Joker had a cane. He had a stick.
Oh yeah. That's right.
You know what I mean? So Dumbledore gonna need a stick. He gonna need a magic wand. He gonna need a stick.
I'm gonna get the Mortal Kombat. I know you love that game and the lore. You told me about the lore. The Joker, right?
Man, I forgot they had a character called Brahmin.
Brahmin, yeah.
It's like a reanimated corpse.
The Indian.
He is wearing like a diaper. He kind of dressed like Dawson, but he got like.
I'll find it. You see the Joker had the stick in it? Yeah, there he is right there, huh?
Always the buffoon.
He's a nice guy, huh? It's the whole mask, that archetype. He was a green man too, right? Mask. What's this play? From Soundless Dawn, the Truther back in the day. Him and Ezra, his partner, they connected the Green Man. They did a video on the Green Man, and they connected it with the mask, like Jim Carrey. But they also connected St. Patrick's Day to Egypt, and they were saying that that roast beef and cabbage was like a staple of the Egyptian diet. You know, and then what's roast beef is the cow, right? The bull.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And the thing about the St. Patrick's Day, he drove out the snakes with his staff.
Right.
You got the staff
He
and
did.
the snake.
Yes, he did. Yeah, and then in that whole that Thomas Stowell brings up the fact, and other scholars, that the quote unquote nigga culture Ebonics came from actually poor whites, immigrants from Scotland that immigrated to the
Yeah.
South, and the Black Americans learned that shit from them,
Yeah,
right?
where you at, Tommy?
Yeah,
I'm
Tommy.
talking to
No,
you,
Tommy
Tom.
actually he brought that up.
Oh,
he brought
okay.
that he brought that up today. Yeah, because
Okay,
I was telling him,
yeah.
oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah, and because I told him, I'm like, yeah, and it's funny because those Scottish whites who were more about partying and kind of like not work wasn't a top priority. They're more like, live and let live, like hippie shit, bohemian shit. Whereas the whites that settled in the North, in like Pennsylvania in particular, were the Quakers, the more conservative white folks, right, in their religion.
And what is the Esau wild man was
German,
born with red hair, and Irish
right,
people known for having red hair.
right, and all those freckles too. Some people think it's like melanin spots. Yeah,
Hmm. Right.
yeah, yeah. It's all connected. It's all connected. Let's see. Before we close it out, I'm having fun as usual. This has been dope. Um, let's see. Let's see what. Let me see what we'll see what the boys are doing over there. Machine Lines, real quick.
Oh,
Want to check
okay.
that out real quick? Let's see. Let's me put it up. Machine and the boys.
Yeah, man. I stand for righteousness and truth and respect. That ain't got nothing to
Mm-hmm.
do with nobody color. So
Absolutely, cold.
I take on different nationalities, and I take on another. If you get what I'm saying, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't
Give and
wavering.
take, right?
Yeah, I take on. If you an ally, I don't give a fuck. I'm happy you from somewhere else. That's networking. That's growth and strength.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm happy. Yeah,
Make
I'm
'em-
not.
Process.
because it's like we're putting in the arena of normally people don't take the risk and try to branch out because it is risky in a way. But I mean, it's the only game in town, right?
Yeah,
To
I'm with it.
yeah, I know you. That's why you're my brother, bro.
Okay, so I'm totally lost on that one. I guess he's saying that advances 50 years
Let's get to the good
after,
stuff.
and
You said he was.
right.
What's his name was there in the beginning? Let's see. Let's see.
We've done so with many works. Right? We
lead to a greater sense of entrapment. It is dark because it compels us to recognize the melodic wounds that make us, the shocks and traumas and cataclysms that have.
Hold on.
and also that has a lot of links with the Ouroboros because it's linked to the idea brought forward by the Order of the Dragon and the Rosicrucians. But yeah,
Yep, I
we're gonna
found the chapter on Ouroboros too, and he
for
makes
sure,
reference.
yeah, this perfect time for it. Yeah, yeah. Let's read some of that, and then we'll take a musical break. Basically, how this show is gonna go. I'll just live a basic format. We're gonna look at some
So this is
Giorgiani.
Morton. Yep. So this is Morton at the second thread, at the end of the second.
Much to my friend Pill Eater for being here.
Maybe even
Oh,
laugh.
that's your friend,
The name
huh?
of this laughter is
Hold on.
eco-Gnosticism. You begin to smile with your mouth closed. To close the mouth in Greek is muien, with the term mystery.
I want to hear you read a book. We want to hear your thoughts.
And kind of just saying that if we want to make the singularity happen, we have to respect computers, robots, because they will be the next human right causes for them. It's not about.
So he's talking about the singularity and humans respecting robots. That's transhumanism right there, right?
Yeah, I mean, but
I
who's?
don't know if he likes it or not. But let's see if he is he endorsing it or going against that anti-human shit.
Somewhere in my library and just start with object-oriented ontology, because you won't get Morton unless you read the first book, Hyper Objects, then Dark Ecology, and then Non-Human Kind is the last one. But I like Dark Ecology a lot because he really tells you what the problem is.
What's the problem?
He's basically an advocate for the transhumanist state, and he's more leaning to leftism because he was published by Verso, and he's a supporter of Trotskyism, but at the same time, he's very sympathetic to trad caps, transgenderism, and kind of just saying that if we want to make the singularity happen, we have to respect computers, robots, because they will be the next human right causes for them. It's not about racism. It's going to be about racism against robots.
So then why y'all the racist ones, stupid? You the only ones on the racist shit, stupid.
Right. We're trying to move on, right? Yeah.
Motherfuckers been people been over that shit, man. You kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. But what if someone says that we are because we're bringing it up? You know?
Hey, I can't stop
Well,
nobody from calling me. You can call me all kind of niggas and
like we're
call
obsessed
me.
with race.
I mean, are we promoting peace or divisiveness? But even though we bringing it up, we not
Mm-hmm.
saying load up your rifles and you know what I mean. We're not saying that. We ain't saying that.
Yeah.
No harmful speech. I'm saying just human to human. You wrong. And I'm not going. You know. I like to tell them I'm not gonna tuck my nigga in when they come around. I'm not tucking my nigga in. I'm not.
Hey,
I turn my
cool.
nigga out. Go ahead, man.
Cool. I'm gonna be red. I'm gonna tuck mine in. Debo's coming. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, I'm gonna tuck mine out. I'm gonna wear my double chain herringbone.
Yeah.
Get my nigga out.
Yeah.
Let it breathe.
Because the thing about it, they want you to turn into them when you encounter them.
Yeah.
Act white, motherfucker. Like, respect me enough to imitate me. No.
Hey, I remember when I was working at I call it the drugstore at Piazza's Fine Food, this Italian drugstore. I mean, it's a drugstore because it's like, I call anything that changes your consciousness drugs, right? Food, alcohol, that shit, cigarettes. But I was working there. It's a good union job and whatnot, but there was like, of course, I was like one of the only black people there, right? And I remember this one older dude, he was like gossiping. I could tell he was gossiping about me or whatever like that. And I went up to him. I'm like, bro, you have something to say, you can say it to me. Just like I'm saying to you, right? And this guy got all scared. It's like, oh, why are you being so aggressive? It's like, bro, I'm just standing up for myself, bro.
They have a black hat, I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, man. We're just talking, bro. You can't even take that. Yeah. You ain't no real wild man. At least own that shit. Tommy owns that shit.
And look, even the biker gangs is telling you, if you look at some of the names of the biker gangs, I think biker gangs are Freemason subsets.
Oh, yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, just like the gangs are in the black community, right?
Oh, 100%. I did two videos on that.
Hell's Angels, we have these in my family. This is why I think I have this like different way, holistic way of looking at this race shit, because literally I had people in my family, like my aunt married a Hell's Angel. I've seen people that have the swastika on their chest and shit that were in biker gangs and shit. Like, but they were cool for me. They better be, or my mom will kill them. So I've seen this shit, bro. Yeah, the Hell's Angels, the El Diablo, right? Like all that.
Like, the Nomad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, it's a bunch of them.
Yeah. Yep. It's very Masonic. It's a fraternity, right?
100%.
Literally a fraternity.
It's like the Boy Scouts.
A fucking savage one.
You get badges like the Boy Scouts.
Right. Boy Scouts for sure. Right. All these fraternities. We even saw it in the Flintstone, the Order of the Water Buffalo. There's some more cow worship for you right there. Goddess worship.
Yeah.
See, that's why hold on.
Yeah.
One last thing. That's why the troglodyte like to wear army fatigues and go out and kill in nature for no reason. Nobody likes to do that but them. But that's the wild man for you. I want to put the leaves on and I want to go be wild.
Yeah, God bless him. I love my friend, rest in peace, Jason from New Jersey. He just passed. He passed last year very suddenly. A white dude. His wife was his best friends with my wife from high school, and good people. But whenever I went to his house, bro, last time I went to America, his dad's house, bro, the whole bunker / down floor was all taxidermied animals. It was anything from like a fucking squirrel to a rabbit to a goddamn bear and a moose. And it's like all, and they killed all these. That was their hobby / business and shit.
Come on, man.
And
That's not natural.
I must tell him for what I saw, bro. I was like, I was shocked, man. I heard about these things, but I was shocked, man.
Hunter and gatherer, the Neanderthal.
Yeah.
You don't do agriculture. You don't do science and math. You do hunter and gathering. Go get some wood and go get a rabbit or a moose. You can do that. As far as
the moose are huge, bro.
They take a moose down. Them Neanderthals will take a moose down, man. The caveman, they gonna do it like hyenas.
In a group, right?
Oh yeah.
The pack.
That's how they move. That's how all
I found it here.
how they move.
Right. Cat is more solitary. Yeah.
It says the technical progress achieved in our own era enable even the dullest minds with the dimmest visions to note the appearance of new commodities all around them. The spirit of enterprise has created them. Without enterprise, labor remains.
We love you, machine, but let's see this. Not but. What do you got to say, bro?
They're with us or against us. Torture isn't an argument any kind than kicking a pebble is, and the threat of torture is no way to display intelligence, let alone proof. The violence of the threat is in its proportion of the impossibility or actually riddling the world of contradiction. Beating and burning something done to cattle and corn, which is in weeds, is not the same as thinking and arguing. Still in the margins of agrolostics thought, we cannot but detect the distinguishedly soft rustling of the archlific and its serpentine beings inherently fragile, like logical systems that contain necessary flaws, like the humanitarian as the tragic hero. The modern upgrade of the Camus myth is the ideal of progress. For instance, it's the ideal we have transcend our material conditions. Harold in the Purple Crayon is a U.S. children's character who can draw whatever he likes with his crayon in the void. Say he is drowning, he can draw a boat. I am the Lizard King. I can do anything. I am the decider, Goo Goo Gaju. But if things are not oriented surfaces, philosophy had better get out of the mastery business and into the allegory medicine business. We need philosophical medicine so as not to have allergic reactions before we mow the allergies down and build a parking lot.
How about not be a dick? You can read all the philosophy books you want, but which is entertaining and cool, but like if you're a dick and like a drudge to society, what is your purpose? Like I asked earlier, huh? On the Wild Man. We'll show you what not to be. Right? And what is Elijah Muhammad? He says the purpose of the white man is to cause so much chaos and destruction that the original people will be like, I don't want any more of this type of negative behavior. I want to like purge it from me. Right? And and like my 5%er friend on Prince Numar 777, he talks about the first way to get the devil off your back is changing your diet. Because how can you think clearly and download that stream of consciousness from the most high source energy if your cells are all fucked up, right? And how do your cells grow from what you eat, right? That's how the devil literally gets into your body. So we need to do a build on that for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the real woke internet. Surfing the Apocalypse number 20.
Surfing the Apocalypse, man. Take woke back.
Take woke back for sure.
The red pill, take the red pill back. Make the red pill, fuck the relationship shit. Let's make the red pill about waking up and knowing the truth and seeing through the matrix and the lies. Take the terms back.
Right. Because the whole thing about the red pill is the reason why, and it affects everyone. It's not just white people, because like I said last broadcast, almost everyone has the Western mind, the European mind, right? And they're running that program. And because of the Western mind hasn't been conducive to a good, strong family structure. So much so that, like you said, birth rates are plunging, right? So the red pill was a response because those relationships weren't working, and let's take it back, like you said, let's take it back and replace it with something that works. Because like we saw, like speaking of the wild man and the caveman, we saw how he used to treat his woman. He hit her over the head and drag her by the hair. And you see this in the porn. Like even if you don't watch porn, you see it filtering out in popular culture with the memes and the side rails of the young folks choking girls, going up to girls and choke. They're saying they're rizzing them up, right? But they literally put their hand over their neck like they're choking them. Even in that porn shows the brutality of the white man, the wild man. You know, spitting in each other's mouth and all this sodomy and shit like that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love to fucking. I used to slay with the best of them. Girls, you know, go and getting the numbers and, you know, finishing the deal. I'm sure Code has his stories too. But the shit nowadays is crazy. It's just a manifestation of the wild man program on everybody, huh?
Yeah, and it's kind of like some Greek shit too. You know, the Greeks was wild with it
right?
too.
Super wild with it. Yeah. So, Code, you got any final thoughts, my friend, on today's broadcast?
Yeah, just you know, take the terms back, man. Don't be sleep.
Yeah.
Don't fall for the propaganda.
Yeah.
Stay woke. Fuck it. Stay woke.
Stay woke, right? And we're always awake here. It's he's about to lay his head down over there in the wilderness of North America. I'm starting my day over here in Asia, so we're never asleep over here on surfing the apocalypse, right?
Right.
You like that? Yeah. No, what does Miguel say? The Blaxican? Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. Don't sleep, you gotta stay up. Skywalking, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So stay on the line on Code for a sec, my brother. So this has been Surfing the Apocalypse, where the big picture meets the small picture, and we're taking back woke. We took back the red pill already, and what you gonna do about it?